Okay, sounds good. Okay, first of all, thank you. I'll let folks in as they start arriving, but thank you to our this month's presentation from Wendy Carter. As you guys know, we've been running these webinars every month, and they all come from within our own membership. And this is really a great tool for us to help us. I mean, that's really what the whole background comes down to it. And there's so much, corporate knowledge, technical knowledge, institutional knowledge and experience in our membership. And we have been so fortunate being able to pool and get together these resources to help us out in many different ways. And keep looking at our website and our updates, because we have them coming up and they're very, very diverse. But I'd like to introduce Wendy. For those of you who don't know, Wendy is one of our members, and she has a background in corporate sales and marketing in the technology industry. And she leveraged that success as a local real estate agent for us here with Keller Williams Realty. She's a big supporter, obviously, by giving this webinar for us of our local small businesses, and even founded the Facebook video series, Only In Poway, which spotlights local businesses in our community at no charge to help bring more exposure to those businesses and to help them grow. She uses video extensively, and will share with you today the practical information to help us use video marketing in our businesses. So that being said, Wendy, I will step out, let you handle it from here, and handle folks as they come in and any issues that come up in the chat. So
okay, great. Thank you so much. And it's great to be here. And thank you to the Poway Chamber of Commerce for hosting these webinars. You guys do such a great job supporting our local business community. And as David said, I just love supporting small businesses. It's actually an integral part of my business plan to build my business around helping people. So I just believe helping people is actually my most valuable offering, and I hope I can help all of you today. I love video marketing, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So I know looks like we've had a great turnout today. So thanks all of you for attending. We've got some great representation of different industries. I see estate planning, payment processing, nonprofit, mortgage, great diversity here, and all these industries definitely can benefit from video marketing. And I know many of you are doing video marketing, so I hope I can help a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, great. And is it on presentation presenter mode? Okay, fantastic. So I do want to point out too that even though I do work for the largest real estate brokerage in the world, I am a small business, just like many of you, and I'm an independent contractor. I'm self-employed, and I am responsible for all of my own marketing and my lead generation, and responsible for spending the money and the time to execute my marketing. So I totally understand the challenges that small businesses face with limited time and limited budgets. If you do want to follow me to see how I'm using some of the technologies and ideas that I talk about today, you can follow me on your favorite platform or all platforms. I've got my Only In Poway video series on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as onlyinpoway.com, and then my real estate business on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and wendycarter.com. I do have a handout that I'm finalizing right now that's will have all the specific information and links to all of the products and resources I talk about today, even links, Amazon links, just to make it really easy for you if you should be interested in anything I talk about today. And also with that email, I will send to you a pre-recorded video to you to demonstrate how I use video email, which is something that I'll talk about today and I use pretty often. So this is what we're going to talk about today, the top 20 tools that I use, tips for shooting video, video email, content ideas, and then editing. And this webinar is really geared to those who have either not started doing video or may have dabbled in it a little bit. And my goal for you is just to jump in and to create video in the next week using something that you learned today. There's so many great training programs and webinars free, especially this past year with COVID. I'm sure many of you took advantage of so much that was offered this past year online. And I think that many of us, we participate and we get all fired up and we make plans, but we don't ever execute and we don't take action on those plans. And so I want to give you something that can help you just overcome what's holding you back from jumping into video marketing. And I just challenge you to just take action and execute and make a video in the next 7 days. If you post it on social media, tag me. I'd love to see it. I'd love to support you by commenting and liking. I encourage you to go for it. In terms of why use video marketing, it can increase your brand awareness and your social media engagement because people like to engage with people and personality, and video reveals personality. A lot of times brands remain anonymous. You've seen this where you see just pictures of the business and the products, but you don't know who is behind that. There's very little human representation. And so video really eliminates that barrier, and it puts a face with a name, and it allows people to hear and see you, which most people prefer. I certainly do, because you can connect with people at totally different level. And it allows people to get to know you and like you so that they can eventually trust you. And we all know that people do business with those that they know, they like, and they trust. And then most importantly, it can drive sales and grow your business, which is frankly why I have my business. And I'm sure that's the reason why you have your business, because you want to grow it, right? You want to drive sales. But you all know that because you're here. And so I'm preaching to the choir. So let's move on. My top 20 tools. I just want to say that there are so many options of apps and tools and technology. Who has heard of paralysis by analysis, or who has experienced paralysis by analysis? I have. You can just overthink a situation, and it can cause forward motion or decision making to just become paralyzing. So what I'm going to share is just what I use. And yes, there's a lot of other great options, but I do know that these work. And on the next couple of slides, there's going to be a lot of tools, 20 to be exact. And of course, I want to say you don't need all these tools. I don't recommend you using all these tools because that can be really overwhelming. I've acquired these over the past 3 years. And so it just depends on what you need help with. Pick and choose, start small. And so these are the ones that I use. I use them a lot. I love technology. I can be kind of a geek about that, but it helps me, my business. And I just think it's so much fun to try out new technologies too. I do have a couple of disclaimers. I am going to provide you with some pricing information. I don't guarantee that the pricing information is accurate. Since product prices can change, but I just wanted to include that just so that you have an idea and just help you determine if it's really a product that you want to further explore. And then also too, the list assumes that you use an iPhone. So sorry, any Android users out there, it's likely there's Android versions of these apps and that these products are compatible with Android, but I don't know because I don't use that phone. So to get started, the top and most important tool, I think, when getting started is your iPhone. Quality of iPhone is excellent for shooting video. Technology has come so far with camera technology, and it's actually all I use when I'm shooting video myself. And then the two most important things for good video are good lighting and good audio. And so I'm going to start with products for that. One is a lavalier lapel microphone. And this just allows you to have a clear sound. To connect, if it does have this adapter, you will need the adapter, the Apple Lightning to the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack adapter that comes with your iPhone. Next is a ring light. This provides a professional looking bright light, allows you to have an even light cast along or across your face. It also reduces your shadows on your face, and it also minimizes blemishes. Who doesn't love that? And then it also will illuminate your eyes. And remember, on my handout, I will have links to this as well. The Tubi video conference light. This is when you're recording at your computer. It's also great for Zoom meetings. I actually have one of these lights right now. It has the same benefit of a ring light, but it's easier to use and it attaches to your computer or your laptop. David, I had recommended this light to you. Did you end up getting it? And if so, how do you like it?
Absolutely. It was very easy to put on. I slapped it on the back of the PC and use it. It was a big difference because the way my computer is set up in a corner, it cast a real bad shadow on there. So I have it now.
You look great. Yeah, you're very well worth
Thank
it.
you.
I gave David a recommendation. He didn't ask for it, so I'm sorry about that. But I just wanted to recommend that to him because I thought that he needed it. So I gave my advice when it may not have been wanted, but I think it turned out great. Okay, the next one is a Movie Pro app, and this solves the problem of your iPhone video connecting with AirPods if you wanted to use AirPods as a microphone. And this is helpful if you're shooting video while you're walking or you're moving, which can really capture attention, especially in the beginning of a video. And so to my knowledge, you can't connect a video on your phone to AirPods without a third-party app. So this is what I use, and it works. Tripod. So this solves the problem of needing to rely on other people to film your video. Most of the video that I do, I have my film crew. I have me, myself, and I. And the tripod basically helps me do that. I don't have to rely on anybody else's schedule. It's just me and my tripod, and it works. And you can just leverage your time and other people's time by doing that. This is a tripod phone mount adapter. This allows you, if you already have a tripod, which I already had this tripod, it's used for DSLR cameras. You can attach your iPhone to that. Car phone mount with a suction cup. This solves the problem of where to put your phone when you're filming in your car. I do not advise filming while you're driving, but it is a great place to record video while you're parked. It makes the perfect studio because the light is fantastic. It's natural light, and it's quiet too. The next one is a DJI Osmo Mobile 2 handheld smartphone gimbal. And this solves the problem of shaky video if you're shooting video while you're in motion. So if you're walking down the street, filming people, or even you turn it around on yourself, it just gives you a just stable video. So it's not moving around. And I'm going to stop there. Are there any questions in the chat? Anyone have any questions I can answer before I move on to the next 10? Okay, I'll move on. The next one is a big View Teleprompter. And this solves the problem of not remembering what you have to say on video. So it's a teleprompter, much like newscasters use. And you know, David, I just noticed on my other computer that it's not in presenter mode. Does that matter?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So I don't know if people can see me talking. And so this is just really helps when, particularly in the beginning, I use this in the beginning just to get more comfortable on video so that I didn't have to memorize lines or look down at a script. And again, that really helped me get confident in the beginning to just go on video. I had a script and I was like a newscaster and I just read it. That's been very helpful. The self-remote control timer. This basically allows you can put your camera on a tripod and at a distance, and it solves the problem of having to start your video and then running in place because you're controlling the shutter with a remote. This also works great with family photos. I actually took my Christmas card photo with this fancy little gadget this past year, and my family loves it, loves me for it because, we took the family photo so quickly without me running back and forth. So I thought I would add that photo there just because I wanted to give a shout out to my family. And this slide is going to already be crazy busy, so why not make it even busier? Trello. So this is a web-based application, and it manages your ideas and your projects. And this solves the problem of just staying organized. It's really a helpful application where all of your ideas and your work is basically in one place. So you can see your ideas, what's currently being worked on, for example, where it is in the process, and then what's completed. And how I've set this up is I basically have different boards set up. So for example, like social media, my social media posts, and ads, my lead generating projects, my Only In Poway videos. And then on those boards, it's organized into things to do, doing, and then done. And it's so fun to move it over to done because, you're just working through all your tasks, and then it's just very rewarding to be able to physically see something that's been accomplished. So you feel like you're being productive during your day. WeTransfer.com. So this is a web-based file transfer service. This solves the problem of sending your video files, which in email, it can just clog an email because those files are so large. So you either can send it to yourself so that you can get your video on your computer or to someone else. And this service is just a really easy way to send your files up to 2 gigabytes for free and super easy. You just type in your email address, the recipient's email address, you attach the file and you send it. And you don't even need to create an account on WeTransfer. So pretty useful. Evernote app. This helps me fall asleep at night because it allows me to jot my notes and ideas down so I don't forget them. And my ideas usually come in, when I'm trying to go to bed. So it's just a great way to organize your notes too. I'm always thinking of ideas, and then I see something. I get a lot of my ideas because I follow people. And so just to be able to record those ideas for later is just really, really helpful. The next one is the Imovie video editing app. And you should actually already have this on your phone if you do have an iPhone. And I'll get more into editing a little bit later. And then Filmora Wondershare. This is an advanced video editing software. This is what I use. I do not recommend using this to start off. It can be a little overwhelming because it has so many features and so much capability, but when you're ready, it does have, those advanced editing tools that you may want to consider. Next is a BombBomb video email, and this is a web-based and an app, and it allows you to send videos one-on-one or to many, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about that in a little bit. Picmonkey. So this is a web-based photo and image editing app. This solves the problem of needing to make some really great thumbnails. And I use this to create my thumbnails, and I'm going to walk through an example later of how I do that. Rev.com, this is a video captioning service, and this allows you to basically put text on the video so that people can watch your video with the sound off. I don't do this with all my videos. I do it when I do Facebook advertising, and so for those videos, I actually make sure I have captions because we know that it's 83% of people who watch video, they actually watch it with the sound turned off. And then about 80% of the people are more likely to watch an entire video when the captions are available. Fiverr.com, this is an online marketplace for freelance services. So for video editing, video intros, logo animation. So it can be really helpful just to get some editing done, especially when you're on a budget. And I'll show that more later too. And I'm going to pause if there's any questions in the chat or anyone want to ask any questions. Okay, tips for shooting video. So what I hear from people that hinders them the most from doing video is that they're nervous about doing video. They're not comfortable, they don't know what to say. And I like to remind people that video is just a form of communication. We're just relaying information that we know to someone who will eventually watch that video, once we upload them. And so the first tip I wanted to share is just to envision that you're relaying information to someone by just like, if it helps, if someone's in the room, and we have someone in the room, maybe behind the camera so that you're speaking to them. So it can relax you and help you see that you are just relaying that information to someone who needs it. And then the next tip to feel more confident is just putting together bullet points that you want to hit. You may get nervous about what you need to say, about stammering over words or saying ums and ahs or even rambling. And this is one way to really keep you on topic, just to be able to have that checklist of points that you want to cover. Another tip that I suggest is that's going to be an instant confidence booster for really anyone is just dressing for the part. If you know you're going to be recording a quick video, make yourself feel confident. If you feel confident in how you look and appear on camera, naturally that's going to be conveyed through the video to your audience. For me, do you know what makes me instantly confident? It's putting on bright red lipstick. That's just who I am, and that's what makes me feel confident. And so I'm usually always wearing some sort of bright lipstick, and that's one reason why I do it. Everyone wants to see someone who's confident and in what you're saying, especially if it's someone that's going to be potentially helping them. And then the last tip is just pick the topic that you feel most knowledgeable about. Things that you're an expert in, topics that you have an expansive background in, and that you're confident talking about. And then most importantly, I just want to encourage you to just be yourself. Authenticity is just really important when you're wanting people to get to know you. You don't want to see someone on video and then you meet them in person and then they're an entirely different person. You're like, who is this person? They're very different. So don't you be that different on video. And this is a tip that I have to constantly remind myself because I tend to be such a perfectionist. But that's just not relatable as someone, to someone who isn't perfect, and they may stumble over their words from time to time. And so I've actually found that unpolished videos and the ones that I don't spend as much time on preparing for are the ones that get more views and more engagement. And I think it's just because it's me, it's my authentic self, and those are just more relatable than those more perfect videos. Next is just make sure that you have good audio and sound, using a microphone, using good lighting, having a quiet environment. And I will say that a car makes a really good studio. The light is bright and natural, and it's so quiet. And, you know, there's actually times when I will sit in my driveway and in my car recording videos like for an hour. And my neighbors probably think that I'm absolutely nuts, but it works. And it's just, you know, particularly we're working out of our homes, and sometimes we don't have the environment to be able to do that. And the golden hour, I have found, is the best time if recording video is outside, and that is the time just before sunset. Know your message. Don't wing it. Some can get away with that. I can't. I cannot wing it. But it's important to know your message beforehand. And then keep it short. The rule of thumb is to keep videos under 2 minutes. I am very challenged with that, but the length also depends on the use case, the channel, where it fits in the sales funnel. Earlier in the stage of a sales funnel, the shorter, the better. And then when you're longer along the sales funnel, the later in the sales funnel is longer. I'm having a little challenge saying all these words with funnel and longer. But anyways, most videos are short form content and meant to quickly share important messages. And then some are longer form content, like 20 to 60 minutes, such as webinars like this that provides a deeper level of education. Based on video stats, about 60% of people indicate that a video being too long would actually strongly deter them from watching it. And it's recommended on Instagram that videos be 30 seconds long, and then Facebook videos should be about between 24 to 90 seconds long, and LinkedIn between 30 seconds to 5 minutes long. And know that, or remember that the first 3 seconds of the video is the most important, just because that's when the viewer decides whether or not they're going to watch your video. A tip that I have is to batch record. I do this where I have a change of shirt or a jacket. I have a couple of videos planned out, and I'll record them one after the other. And it's just a really good use of your time. And I like to change my shirt and my jacket, so it just looks like it was recorded at a different place and time. And I'll change my background just because, you know, let's just be honest, we're not always video ready. I don't always, you know, feel like I'm ready for a video in the way I look, or I'm dressed, or even how I feel. You know, some days you just don't feel like it. You have to be ready and in mindset to do that. Frame it. Just be conscientious of your background and also your space to the left or the right. If you plan to include subtitles, just remember that when you are recording, to set aside to the left or the right if you plan to add subtitles. Next, I wanted to just touch upon video email. And this is something that I think a lot of people aren't familiar with. And this just gives you the ability to record and send videos directly to someone. I use this for one-on-one communication as well as communication to my database. And it just really helps me rehumanize, you know, communication. We do so much email, and if you've met me through networking, it's very likely that you've received a follow-up email from me. Has anyone received one of these emails from me before? I use a company called BombBomb, and I want to go ahead and share an example of this for you. Okay, so this basically, just kind of setting up the scenario here, is if you've, say you've met someone, so I met someone at a networking event, I have their email address, I have their name, then later that day, I'll record a video and then I'll send it to them. And sometimes a video is recorded specifically for them, or it may be a video that I've sent to all the people that I met that day. I also do this when I meet people for the first time with my business, or I talk with them on the phone. I just kind of follow up with one of these emails. And this is just helpful because especially if someone's at a networking event has met so many people. So it's just to remind them and to put that face with a name. And then if it's a new potential client, it's just be able to reinforce the conversation, and a great way to be remembered. And so I'm going to go ahead and, so this is how the email looks. And I need to share another screen here. Okay, so this and this, I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Hi, it's Wendy Carter with Keller Williams Realty, and I just wanted to follow up with you and send you this quick video to tell you that it was so great to meet you at the North County Business Expo today in our breakout session. And I look forward to supporting you in your business and hopefully seeing you at future events. I may have mentioned that networking and building relationships are so important to me, just so that I can refer businesses like you to my clients and other people in the community, which helps them and also helps you too. I invite you to follow my Facebook video series, Only in Poway, on Facebook and Instagram at Only in Poway, which spotlights local businesses in Poway and the surrounding areas, and is also a way that I give back to the community and bring more exposure to the businesses. My real estate business does fund this project, so of course I'm always looking for new people and families to serve. I do work all over San Diego County and particularly in North County. And so if you know of someone who is thinking of buying or selling in the next year, I'd love the opportunity to earn their business. And if I can help you in any way, real estate related or not, please reach out. Thanks and have a great week.
Okay. Where'd my slides go? Here we go. Okay, so that was just kind of an example of how I use it. You can also use it for customer service as well, just to educate your clients during your process. For example, in real estate, we have a transaction, and to be able to send a video email to explain what the next is in the process is really very helpful. And also too, is you could pre-record videos with standard messages just to help, if you're constantly communicating the same message, you can pre-record that, and it just leverages your time if you're communicating that message over and over and over again. So, so again, video can help with your customer service and just making that experience with your customer exceptional and memorable. It's also a helpful way to stay in touch with your clients after a sale. It helps me stay in touch and in relationship with my clients. It's a long-term relationship. It's not just a transaction. And so I want to stay in touch with my clients and continue to provide them value. And video email is one way to do it. And when I send out the handout, I will include one of these videos just to show you what this looks like and how it comes across on your email. So video content ideas. When I first sat down and thought about what I should do video on, and I encourage you all to do the same thing, I asked myself, what makes me different? What does your business, how are you different than your competitors? And whatever my product differentiator is, that's what I want to show on video. I want to show that value that I provide to my clients. And so for me in my business, for example, I know that I can get my clients more money for their home with our staging, professional, high quality photography, drone photography, video, 3D virtual tour. And so all those things that's not standard in our industry. And so I want to try to show that in my videos. Also too, that I feel like I'm different is that I value the relationship that I have with my clients more than the transaction. And so I want to show that in videos. I want to focus on those things that aren't standard and those things that make me different. And so when I do video, it typically falls into one of three categories. One is promotion. This would be like your products and your services. I actually, our team hires this out. I don't record my own video for this, just because I'm not a professional photographer, and professional photography is actually a critical part of the service that I deliver, just to ensure my clients get best results. Education, this is just anything that tips, industry research. For me, I provide real estate market update videos. I know my market, I study it every day. And so that's what I share. And then the third category of content. Oh, and I wanted to mention, I see Tara on here. So Tara Anderson, she does a great job of educational videos. I know she's got a webinar, I think it's tomorrow, on estate planning. She knows this topic, and that this information is really helpful to families. And then connection. So this is content that really people can relate to. It can be behind the scenes, which is so interesting, of businesses. Maybe what you do during the day, a personal story or a customer story. And I've actually found that these videos get the most views and the most engagement. And I'm really committed to doing more of these. One of my favorite videos, which got a lot of engagement, was when I did a video on a closing gift that I got my client, which was a photo book of the photos from their first home together, which is the home that I sold. And I was demonstrating to my clients that, it's more than a transaction, that it's a relationship that I valued. And I just got so much engagement on that. And it's really the personal side or the connection side of my business. And before I move on to editing, any questions from anybody?
We've had some good comments on the chat box, and people are really learning a lot from it and getting some good ideas, but no questions so far. You've been covering everything very thoroughly. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So creating and editing videos, I don't think it's as hard as you may think, but there are some businesses that can do this for you. And I do think that some videos should have a professional do it. If you're going to be using them over and over and over again, I did have a professional edit my community tour videos because those videos, those are evergreen. They live on my YouTube channel, and I actually get discovered by people searching for information on our local communities. So they may, type in community of Poway or community of Forest Ranch or Rancho Bernardo, and that video will come up. And so I did take the time and the money to spend on a professional editor. I will say that we do have local businesses here as well. Chamber members under video production are listed Airedale Productions, Twin Peaks Training with David Howard, My San Diego North County, David Zamaya, Go Be Rewarded, and Stigma Solutions. And I always like to support and promote our local businesses. So if you're interested in professional video, seek those great members out. There are some free editing software programs, but I do want to caution you that keep in mind that most of these free programs, they limit their features because they want to advertise to you the professional versions. So you may get started and then you find a roadblock that's stopping you from, making those advanced edits. So it can be a little bit frustrating. The editor that I use is actually Filmora Wondershare. I do some videos on that, and then I do another on a more simpler app, which is the Imovie app. That comes free on the iPhone. And the benefit of using the iPhone app is just that you don't have to upload any of the clips, because if you have a lot of clips, that can be very cumbersome to upload all those videos to get to your computer. And so the iMovie app is done on your phone. There's also actually a Mac version of the software if you prefer to work on your laptop. There's so many options, but you don't need to be paralyzed with choices. There's so many good ones. I was going to demo for you the iMovie app, but there's just not enough time. But I am going to provide a link to an iMovie a tutorial in the handout. One thing I wanted to mention is it's a great idea to have a template for your videos where you have the same opening, the same titles, the same ending. This can just save you time, and then it also provides you with consistent branding. Fiverr.com is a great option to get an intro or an ending video created for you. And I'm actually going to go jump on there right now to show this to you. Okay. All right, so this is Fiverr.com, and this is just a really useful website. Basically, there's a bunch of freelance companies on here. They're from all over the world, and you can browse the type of work that you're interested in having done. Again, I support local businesses and seek those out, but if you do want even some really quick, inexpensive little jobs, some of the local companies, some of these jobs are just really little for them, so they actually don't want the business. But just check this website out. You can go up here and you can see the types of products that they offer. There's intros and outros. There's logo animation. There's all sorts of, I'm clicking too fast. You can go in here and search, for example, for intros and outros, and you can look at all the reviews, and you can go in here and actually see an example of what their work is. So you kind of get the idea. And so now I wanted to talk about creating thumbnails. First, it's always helpful to get inspiration from somebody else. I know I do that a lot, and so I wanted to go ahead and show you on my Only In Poway website. You can see all of the thumbnails right here that I use. They tend to look very similar. And once you create your first thumbnail and you want it consistent, it's a lot easier. And then for my real estate thumbnails, they have another look to it. And I tend to reuse things like photos. And if you'll recognize this photo right here, this was used for the video marketing webinar. And I just stuck a megaphone in my hands and just reused that photo. But just as a first step, to take a picture for you if you want to be on your thumbnail, I actually just videotape. I usually put my video record. I video record, and I'll just do, funny hand signals and, embarrassing things like that. But it's a little bit easier than taking an actual photo. If you do a video, then you can just kind of scroll through the video and pick the best one, and then just do a screenshot and use that video. That way you have lots of choices of how you look on your thumbnail. And I do that pretty often. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go on to Picmonkey and just show you how easy this is. This is the software that I use. It's a web update. You can see some of the previous thumbnails that I've made. Here's the video marketing one. But this is what I'm going to go ahead and do is I can create basically a blank canvas, and they have different formats on here. And so I usually go down to the YouTube one, the YouTube thumbnail, and that should work for Facebook as well. And I'll just go ahead and create it. For this webinar, I'm going to create a thumbnail for this webinar. And I basically took a picture of me earlier from my computer. And I'll go ahead and add it. So I go to my computer and I add an image. It's being very slow. Okay. Well, of course it's not going to work, right? Because I had Zoom problems and I never have Picmonkey problems, but today's the day. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Took a little break. Okay, so for example, add, this is the picture I took. Okay, and one really neat thing of this Picmonkey, if you get, I don't know which version it is, which per month it is, but it is an upgraded version of it. This is the best feature of this whole Picmonkey app. Check this out. So right here, remove this background. And that just allows you to get this fun image. And then if I go to the background, I can pick a fun color right there. And then I could pick a text right here. And I can go to effects, can do an outline. Let's see. And obviously you can go even more detailed than that, but that's kind of a quick way to do it. And then when you go to download it, you have choices of JPEG, of quality right here. I go ahead and click download and you download it to your computer and into a thumbnail. So that is it. Let me go ahead and get to my last screen here. Okay, so that's kind of the end of what I wanted to cover today. I wanted to cover so much more, but I didn't have time. I hope this was helpful information, and I just appreciate all of you attending. And if there's any interest, and if you wanted to go take a deeper dive into any of these areas, I'm happy to do a part 2. We could call it Video Marketing, 102. Just give us feedback in the comments. And if you would like that handout, feel free to email me and with the subject line VM webinar. So just want to encourage everyone to go do video and make sure you have fun too in the process.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we sign off, Mike, any parting words or a fearless leader for Wendy and our presentation today?
No, just great job. Great job on that, Wendy. Thanks for doing that and for sharing and being so giving, you know, with this as well as with your the member spotlight, or not member spotlight, but the video series that you've done on all the members. And we just really appreciate it, as well as, again, the shout outs for those other chamber members. It's just really great. We appreciate it. And David, as usual, awesome job with this committee. And thanks everybody for joining.
Yeah, I just want to let
Thank you.
people know, if you saw a very great example of the expertise that we have out there. If you know of other members, I think this is our 9th or 10th presentation, and one has come from the outside. All the other ones have come from chamber members. So again, I keep throwing that word out there, that expertise, that skill, that knowledge that we have out there. So if you are interested in something one day, or you know of someone that has something they want to share, please let me know, because I think Wendy really nailed it on the head earlier when she said that we had some chamber members that have these skills to help you in this process. And also the danger of going to an unknown vendor that, you know, it kind of they lure you in with a little bit of, yeah, we'll do this for you. But then when you start really explaining what you want, it comes out to be a whole lot more. So just wanted to share that with you. And if you know some folks that missed the presentation, please let them know that it is going to be on our website soon. Our staff, chamber staff, will put it on there, send out the link to us so we can go in and look at it. Any other questions, comments, concerns before I'll give a big shout out and great applause to Wendy. Any final questions that you want to present to her? Okay, if not, then we expect to see a whole bunch of videos coming out from you here real soon. And send them out to us so we can start sending them out to other folks. But I know it's been a big help for me, because we've been wanting to do this for the longest time. And you gave us the right tools to use to start with. I think that was very important. Just from a simple light and a simple mic that just costs $9 and things like that can make a big world of difference in the messages you send out. So other than that, like I said, the link will be posted. Anita, go ahead.
So I just noticed in the chat that Danielle asked if we would receive the slideshow. Wendy, is that the handout you're talking about, or is that other?
Yeah, yes. Thanks for asking. Good question. Yes, the handout will have all of those links on there, actual live links where you can just go right to Amazon. And just everything that I referenced today will be on that handout, and I'll send that to you.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
I also wanted to remind everybody that we do have a Facebook group for PowayChamber members. So when you make your video, make sure you post it on there and then share each other's. So it's a great opportunity to do that.
The first one's always the hardest. The first one's always the hardest. After that, it's a breeze. All right, we look forward to it. Everyone have a rest of the great day coming up, and bundle up. It's going to get windy and cool tomorrow. And have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Great job.